Why ADHD saved my life? I can go down a plethora of stories, but I'm going to stay on track. ADHD. I'm going to stay on track and just hopefully this information can help somebody out there. There are so many videos online and so many different techniques, and I think it's great that everyone is sharing their own experiences. You know what I mean? I love puzzles, so I like to piece things together on what would actually work for me, and I would apply it. And I think that would also be suitable for others to try, right? So I've been battling this ADD, ADHD thing my whole life. I don't even know what to call it anymore. Was I officially diagnosed? No. But I remember hearing about it and being told that that's what I had when I was a child. Now, I don't know if this came from a family member or a doctor. However, I do know that my mother refused to put me on any medication like Ritalin or whatnot. And she just let me be what I was going to be, which I appreciated that. Was I aware of it? Yes. Did I fully understand what it was? No. So let's get into it, shall we? I did know that I suffered from it when I was in high school. I didn't know I suffered from it, but I didn't know how to combat it. So it's just what it was, right? I just knew I was different. It was hard for me to focus at times. I zoned out, especially like when I was reading. Like, if I read something out loud, I didn't comprehend what the heck I just read. I needed to read it in my mind. Then I would be able to comprehend what I read. So even in school, when we would all read together as a class, I didn't know how to speed read because my mother didn't know how to speed read, and I learned it from her. I would actually read through whatever we were reading so I can already comprehend what the story was about. So by the time the teacher called on me to read, which she always did because she loved my reading, because my inflections were so animated, right? I already knew what I was reading. I already comprehended the story because I had already read it ahead. These are just little techniques that I had done in school. Because if I was asked, I had the anxiety of, if I'm asked a question of what it was I just read, and if I can't answer it, I didn't want to look dumb, right? Like, how does that sound? Like, you just read it. How do you not understand what you just read? When I read out loud, I just didn't comprehend it. I read in my mind so much, and I was an avid reader, right? Just wanted to share that aspect or that perspective. So I remember I was going through a lot in high school, just personally about some past trauma from my childhood. Now, the way my brain was, and those of us out there that have ADHD or ADD, whatever the term they want to use today, it's like you have like 20 to 30 different tasks in your head. And you're like, all over the freaking place. And you're like starting and stopping so many of those tasks. So much so, you're like, wait, what was I doing again? Oh yeah, let me go ahead and do this. Oh wait, and you start, and then you think about something, and you get up and you go to do that task, and then it just continues happening, and it becomes like this never-ending, revolving door of unfinished tasks. And then you get frustrated with yourself, and then you feel inadequate because why can't I be normal? Why can't I just finish one task at a time, right? So those of you who have ADD, now referred to as ADHD, it goes like this. You wake up, there are a million things running through your mind of what you have to do for the day. Whether it's go to the gym, make breakfast, study, work, take children to school if you have them, study to advance your skills if you're in the school or a certification program, pay any due bills. That means to sit down, pull it up on your computer, get your card, make sure you pay those bills, and don't get distracted by notifications. Lord, that's the worst thing for people with ADHD, but I digress. I'll get into that later. Writing your journal. Do market research if you're a social media influencer. maybe read some of the book you started, 3 weeks ago. Plan out your next day. Clean your room and or your closet and or your bathroom and or your whole home. Do the laundry, fold and or hang your clothes, and the list goes on and on. And it seems like it's never ending. I told myself I have the ability to train my brain without the use of substances. How will I do it? Well, if I had a task to complete, I just started hyper-focusing on that one task in the moment to start and finish it in one sitting. Now, I'm not going to say that this was easy. It has gotten easier with practice and with time, and I still exercise the same formula today. Some days are harder than others, but what I choose to do in my mind is make it up. I make a decision, what I'm going to do, why I'm going to do it, why it needs to get done, and how I will feel once I complete it. Now, I am a mother and I am a wife, and so I make it my duty to check on every single one of my children, including my husband. So in between trying to make sure I fulfill all of my tasks, I have to break away and go check on my children. Maybe I'm holding my baby and she uses the restroom while I'm studying. Whatever the case may be, I have to break my concentration. So yes, it has gotten harder, but I still continue practicing it. And sometimes, let me get on this one. Those of you who can relate, please drop an emoji or something in the chat or please drop an emoji in the group, in the comments. I can't even get it together. What really drives me insane is when I get a phone call. Sometimes a phone call can derail all of what I said, and I neglect all of my tasks. Now, do I have to answer the phone? No, and sometimes I don't, but most times I do. And I hate this sometimes because I'll be on the phone for about 2 hours, and now all of my tasks that I carefully thought out and planned has now gone to crap. I then look around and I feel bad about myself and start negative thinking. It's not easy. It is a difficult task. Talking on the phone and spending 2 hours doing so. Oh my gosh. I start to feel bad about myself and I start negative thinking, but I quickly turn it around and I get back on track to keep pushing through the negative thoughts and combating that with finishing at least one of my tasks, if not all of them. If I can't finish all of my tasks, I would at least try to start it and finish it at a later time. This has helped me tremendously. I also use meditation as a form to hyper-focus. Like right now, I'm on a quest to begin a new career in the world of cybersecurity, and I love it. And those of you who are following my journey, strap up. This is going to be a fun ride. I'm looking forward to sharing everything that I'm doing with all of you. So, all of the IT networking classes I've taken in the past and had no idea what it was saying or talking about is now speaking to me loud and clear. And it makes me feel good. It makes me feel sort of invincible. It's not to say everything I learn I'll automatically get, but thus far, I get it. And I'm loving it. Fun fact. Having ADHD says nothing about someone's intellectual abilities or capabilities. People with ADHD don't have trouble paying attention. They just have trouble paying attention to the right thing. Like what I just mentioned when I get a phone call. Like I'm on a task doing something important and I get a phone call and now I'm paying attention to whomever I'm speaking to. And it's a great conversation and it's very helpful. But I do ask myself, should I have answered the phone? That's why having a good calendar and reminder system can be one of the most important strategies for someone with ADHD. I'm not necessarily saying a schedule, because those of us with ADHD know it's very difficult to follow a schedule sometimes. But to just have a calendar of the things that you plan to do today or this week and a reminder to do them definitely helps. Which brings me to my next point. Because I put so much work and focus and obsession behind whatever task I'm tackling, especially when it comes to career, I don't suffer from imposter syndrome. I know I put in the work to get to where I land, and I will continue to put in the work to climb higher. I look at it like this. ADHD allows me the autonomy and love to be a lifelong learner. I'm always curious, and I want to fill that curiosity with knowledge and action. Because of my ADHD, I'm fearless in tackling new adventures. I've lived around the world and have no quarrel with starting over and pushing through to the next step on my journey in life. When I don't finish all the daily tasks that I have planned to propel me forward in life, I do learn to not be so hard on myself. Because in the past, it would make me stop what I'm doing and not continue because I put so much pressure on myself. Instead, I now just pray to God and I talk to Him about my feelings. I'm able to speak through the rubbish and see clearly what I need to do, and it's as simple as to keep pushing forward. Where am I today? I'm still practicing my focus techniques. Do I think in the back of my mind if I should actually try an ADHD medicine to see if it may help me? Yes. Have I done it? No, not really. Because if it doesn't give me the dopamine I need and causes other issues in my body or in my mind, then I'd rather keep doing what I'm doing right now, which is just learning to hyper-focus on one thing at a time. In my adult years, I have tried a non-prescribed natural focus medicine, and I feel as though both of them were just placebos. I didn't feel any difference, and I gave them both a month to work to see if the effects were there, and they weren't. So, in doing that, I just figured it's best for me to continue doing what I've been doing my entire life. I'd love to hear any techniques that you all may have tried. Have they worked? I can't tell you how many times I've made a schedule and then proceeded to not do anything in that order and sometimes on that list. I've simplified my schedule these days, and I'm still modifying it. And you know what's funny? I even asked Chat to help me create a schedule. And what's so funny is that it literally gave me the same schedule I drew up for myself, which let me know two things. One, I'm a genius. And that two, I should just follow my schedule and see what happens. Anyway, I'll check back in with you guys and tell you how it's going. I'd love to hear more of what you think. So comment down below. Let's get this party started.